Welcome, everyone. It's good to see everybody. I feel like it's been a minute. Has it? Really? No? I don't know. Who knows? I got a special guest with me right now. He's going to hang out with us for just a little while. Say hello to the loser of the competition.
What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Thanks for joining me, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's good to be on your channel. Always happy to be here.
Right on. I was thinking, since we only have so much time with you, I was thinking I was going to go, because you dropped a video earlier, just kind of like a really quick little summary of things that are going on, because I'm going to go over the entire interview with Cassandra Laundrie, and then I'm going to sorry, we got a little distracted by chat. I'm gonna go over the entire interview of Cassandra Laundrie, but you gave us a quick little summary and a little summary of what's going on with Dog, the bounty hunter, as well.
Yeah.
So if it's cool with you, I'm gonna go ahead and stream your content.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Okay,
hey, what's up, everybody? See you guys in chat. Thanks so much. You guys are awesome.
And for those of you who are not subscribed, Maxie, please make sure you do so, because he really cares about these cases. And if you're into the paranormal side, and the paranormal interests you on that side of real crime, well, then you definitely want to subscribe to Max.
Thanks, I appreciate that, brother.
I appreciate you acknowledging that it's called real crime now.
Oh, you got me on that.
Real crime.
I see you. True crime. True crime.
Real crime. It's real crime.
We had a debate. We can do the debate in the chat and see who agrees.
I mean, there's no debate. It's real crime. Hold on. Let me pull this up. I got it here. Okay. It's about 5 minutes here, this one.
Yeah, it's a quick one.
He had come to me first that day with the van because I don't think we'd be here. I worry about him. I hope he's okay. And then I'm angry and I don't know what to think. I would tell my brother to just come forward and get us out of this horrible mess.
I cooperated with the police since September 11th when they called. I did not say that I saw my brother. I said I haven't been able to speak to him in reference to the time when I was called by the police. Since that point, I haven't been able to speak to my brother.
Was Brian with you on September 1st? Did he come to this house?
Yes, he came to this house with my parents in their Mustang, not the van. I did not know that he took that van back. I found out the next day with everybody else. We are just as upset, frustrated, and heartbroken as everybody else. And I am losing my parents and my brother and my children's aunt and my future sister-in-law on top of this. And you're not helping.
Why your parents? Why your parents? You're talking about Christmas.
They're not talking to us either.
Why aren't they talking to you guys?
If I knew, I would say. I don't know.
Do you think they're involved, your parents?
I don't know.
You don't know.
100% honesty. September 11th night forward. We've been cooperative.
It's just frustrating
met
because
them.
the family's upset because they're not getting the belongings from Gabby that are in your parents' home.
We have no idea what they have or
They
don't
won't
have.
give them.
I don't know.
The parents have hung up the phone on them. I mean, it's just frustrating, you know.
I'd also like to say that not to upset Mr. Petito any further, but I did not get any phone calls from him in the days prior to this September 11th. September 11th, I checked my phone records. I don't see any. He maybe had the wrong number.
Brian Laundrie, dead or alive? What do you think?
Well, I would assume, he is alive. Not alive and doing well, but he's alive.
And why do you say?
Well, there's no evidence of him being suicidal like that anywhere. And, he didn't say that to anyone. And if you'll go to his Instagram pages and look what kind of person he really is. And
You mean
the
a weasel.
books that he reads, and especially a very favorite book, that's not books for suicidal people.
Why
Yeah.
would he
How to
hang
successfully
around
be a
the
douche.
area that he was last seen in this wilderness area if he knows there's going to be an intensive search? Why wouldn't he not escape knowing that he's getting a jump on everybody because his parents aren't calling the cops for 2 days?
Well, Harvey, one, he was down. Okay, he goes fishing or camping, whatever it's called, with his parents. While he's down here in that camp area, the bomb drops. Brian Laundrie hits national news. They are watching that on television and they're going, oh no. Then cell phones were bought, Harvey.
Right.
There was a canoe bought. You know, if you're going out of the country, Brazil, you ain't use a canoe. I mean, there's a lot of things that all of a sudden, oh no, he can't go outside anymore. So while they're at this park, you know, pardon the expression, all hell broke loose. So right then they had to make decisions. And since he's a survivalist, he's been on the Appalachian Mountains for 2 months at a time by himself. And, you know, since he's a survivalist, that was the only thing to do.
That's a strong term to use
is
to
he
describe
here right
him.
now? I'm not sure. Is he here a few days ago? Absolutely. But he could have got out during night. Then he'd have to have help from, I guess it might be close to a family member. And, you know, he's taken off somewhere else. I do not believe that he's in Mexico or Brazil or some of the stuff like that. I've been to Mexico, and if they know you're wanted and you're a Caucasian American, they're going to turn you in for the reward. And if you're doing that to children in America, the Mexicans think you're going to do that to our children here.
Yep.
So they turn you in, or you get beat up by the cartel and surrender to the authorities. So I think he's still up in this area. We have found several items, and we turned them over the day before yesterday to the FBI. So they're going to run DNA tests on what we found. And whatever we found was a couple days old. So hopefully, you know, and just because even if it's a positive, that doesn't say where he's at. We know he was here because we checked the park registration with his sister, his mom, his dad. Of course, you know, they all said they hadn't seen him. We proved that to be a lie. So we know he was.
Thank you guys for watching. And if you enjoyed the content, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Who's that corny guy?
Next investigation. I don't know. He's dreamy.
Oh my God.
So thanks for that, man.
Yeah.
That was a nice quick little update as far as where we're at. Now I noticed something. Now I'm gonna know better when I go over the entire interview later on, but and I know you're not gonna be able to stick around for that because you got about another 15 minutes with us. But I'm wondering if Dog confirming that Cassandra was on the campsite with the rest of her family and Brian, if that contradicts her story in her interview there. I'd have to look at the time, but I don't know. But I'm curious about that. Because the thing is I'm not with the little bit that I've seen there, because I haven't watched the entire interview. But with the little bit that I'm seeing there, it indicates to me. I mean, I don't get the vibe that she's being untruthful necessarily. But the thing is, though, there's also just the fact that she's a Laundrie. You know what I mean? Like literally everybody else is doing something shady in that family except her. You know what I mean? Now, that's not necessarily fair, but I mean, is it unfair though at the same time to like kind of be like, I don't know, because she did already once contradict herself, didn't she?
Yeah, she already contradicted herself because originally she was saying she didn't see him, but really she did see him. She said, okay, yeah, well, we did see him. you know, with she was talking about it even with the red Mustang and stuff like that. But
and not only did she see him, but he went to her house
after, right after the thing. And that was my big question too.
How do you forget that?
My thing was like when they originally went camping or whatever, and they were all together. If you know that this is his fiance, okay, this is just, I highly doubt that this is just me. If you have a brother or a sister or whomever, and you have a fiance and you're used to being with them, and then all of a sudden they're not there when you go camping, wouldn't that be one of the questions out of your mouth? Be like, hey, where's Gabby? Like,
right.
Like that would be one of my first questions.
You're just gonna be like, oh well. I mean, but at the same time, let's consider, you know, with our experience in real crime, anything could happen here. So it could just be something as simple as somebody asked, or she asked where Gabby was, and he came up with some quick little thing. Oh, she's going to meet me later over here, blah, blah, blah. And then what do? You don't think anything of it. You're not going to sit here and think, oh, well, I wonder if my brother murdered his girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like, that's not coming to your mind right away. At least I don't think so. You know,
it would be weird to me, in this sense, is that they almost look conjoined at the hip right now. They're doing the channel, and they're pretty much with each other, like, you know, basically nonstop, 24/7. So right. To me, that would be suspicious. Like if my brother or sister did that, all of a sudden, you know, like they're not here. They're like with you on everything. You guys are even on a trip together to go across the country and stuff. And then all of a sudden, just poof, they're gone. Like you guys good. Everything cool.
You know, and I can't help. I have to play devil's advocate too. You know what I mean? But
do it.
So I feel like, I mean, we also don't know what the dynamic is like between Brian and his sister. You know what I mean? So maybe it doesn't behoove her to press him. Maybe she's just glad to see him. Maybe she figures, oh, well, if I start pushing him and start pressing him for questions, you know, it's going to affect our dynamic, and we're all supposed to be here having a nice time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I'm not saying it to the fact that it would be like, oh my God, like you'd have to push him, but to me, it'd be a question in the back of my mind, maybe. Like, and when she goes on the, you know, talking about basically she hopes that he's okay and blah, 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 and stuff like that. That would have been the same thing. Like, yeah, I mean, everything points in your direction that your brother did something. And so my thing would be like, look, like I saw him at the campgrounds. And like, if you were being completely transparent and honest, you'd be like, look, I saw him at the campgrounds. He didn't say anything about Gabby. We just asked, you know, where she was, and he made up this. But to not even address it, to like, I don't know. And I didn't watch the entire full interview, so maybe she does address it. But as far as I've seen so far and what I've watched, I haven't seen her address that and be like, oh well, yeah. Well,
not at all, because Dog is saying in the registration the whole family was registered there, including her. Mm-hmm. So, but he also says something really interesting in that little clip there. He says that his theory is that nobody knew anything, right? But while they're on this camping trip, all of a sudden, Brian Laundrie's a household name. Mm-hmm. Gabby Petito's missing. Brian Laundrie's a household name. The whole country's like, where is this guy? Yeah. And while they're on this camping trip, right? And so that sends a red flag, and then whatever happens. But Cassandra was there. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So she was there. So if that's the case, if Dog's theory is correct, then she had to have known what was going on, you know, and so sitting here and acting like little Miss, you know, innocent babe in the woods, it doesn't add up.
No, it doesn't. And it's the same thing with the parents too. I mean, we could, their silence speaks like volumes about the kind of characters that they are, and it's sickening that they hide behind a lawyer, they don't say anything, and they don't, you know, and what makes me aggravated at the police officers or the law enforcement, whatever you want to call it, is how does Brian sneak out when he's a suspect, when he's a person of interest? He was the last one to see Gabby, comes back with the van. How all these things does freaking Brian just sneak out? How does he just sneak out? Like,
right. And if they went on this camping trip on the Appalachian Trail or near it, right, chances are he took off, they came back without him. And if that's the case, if Dog's theory is correct, then they straight up lied when they said that the last time they saw him was, what was it, the 16th, something like that? Not the 16th. Yeah, no, that's I'm getting that date wrong. I have to be getting that date wrong.
12th. I think it was around the 12th or 13th.
Okay. Oh, I think it was the 13th. I think it was the 13th. But then, yeah, if that's the case, then they're lying, saying that the last time they saw him was on the 13th, and that he said he was going camping and in the marsh over there, right? Yep. Near where they live. So, and then they reported him missing, right? Which goes to my theory, which is they just reported him missing to cover their own butts.
Yeah, after a couple of days.
Right. Right. And why did they wait? Right. Why did they wait 3 days? Why did they wait 3 days to report him missing?
Whoops.
So let's see. TW. Cassie never asked while at the campground. So what's new with Gabby? Why isn't she here with you? Yeah, good point. I mean, that's the point that Mexi's making here. Yeah, the whole thing is just super shifty. And especially, yeah, I'm just not buying. I'm not buying Cassandra not knowing anything, because another thing is now, I want a disclaimer here where, we're not body language experts. I always, when it comes to these cases and there's a grieving family member, alleged, we're always breaking down, like, are they lying? Blah, blah, blah. Look at why are they standing there so defensively? Blah, blah, blah. We're always breaking all this stuff down when we're not body language experts. But the thing is it's fair. It's fair to kind of, cock an eyebrow, at Cassandra, because she came off untruthful, whether it was accidental or not. She did. And we've got an entire family that's shutting down and lawyering up. B-Muse, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Yeah. And so everybody's behavior is super shady. And then all of a sudden, because her folks aren't talking to her. Now, I'm curious as to that. Why do you think her folks aren't talking to her right now? What would be your theory on that?
Everything held against you can be and will be.
Well, no. I mean, her parents talking to her.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Her family.
They probably, the more that they talk to her, the more they put her in jeopardy of catching.
Oh, anything. So you're saying that they're doing it to protect her? Plausible deniability?
Probably.
But that wouldn't make sense if she already knows something. If she's lying about something, then that would mean that she already knows something.
It's not uncharacteristic of them, though, is it? I mean, we see them go quiet.
Sure.
So that's what we know that they do so far. So in my mind, if they're trying to protect Brian and they're trying to protect their family, if I was in their shoes and if I was thinking that warped sense of mentality, I probably would do the same thing. I'm not going to tell you anything about what's going on. I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to hush, because I don't want you getting involved in this, and I don't want you to get drug into it. The less you know, the better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's one theory, but I mean, I would kind of lean more towards this comment here, because she is blowing the whistle. Yeah, more or less, not so much, maybe not intentionally. What's up, Jolene? Can I help you? Okay. Yeah, you can hang out with me if you want. I'm maybe not intentionally, but I feel like what she's, maybe it's because she's already been talking to the press. Literally, she's the only person in the entire family that said anything to the press, that's spoken to the press. So I feel like maybe to protect Brian, it's in their best interest, and to protect themselves, it's in their best interest to distance themselves from her. You know what I mean? Be like,
I just try to think. I don't know what, as a parent's standpoint, from a parent's standpoint and a parent's view, like, I'm a parent, and I just know, like, if you, let's say you love both your kids, right? Let's just say that they love Brian and her equally, right?
Right.
Let's say that they do. So if you love Brian and you're trying to do everything you can, you think this is right, trying to protect him the way that they're doing, and then you have her over here, regardless of if she's a whistleblower or not, that probably makes no difference to them, because they're like, hey, we're trying to protect both of you. We're trying to protect Brian, and we're trying to protect you. Because to say the other way would say that they don't love her as equally, and think that she's going to be a rat. We're not talking to you because you're a rat. Like, I don't necessarily think that that's the case. They seem like douchewads, but if they have enough love for one, why would they not have enough love for the other to try to protect them in both senses of that?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't put it back past the family of a bunch of douchewads to favor one kid over the other. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I'm gonna go knock on their door and I'm gonna go ask them. You know, I'm not.
Are you really? Are you gonna go pull a Marissa? Is that what you're gonna do?
You know, I wouldn't be afraid to go do it. Excuse me.
You totally would.
Walk up to Gannon Stosh's old house and
for real, like at least, yeah. With that, like you still did it, but you like were at least hesitant out of respect. Like these people haven't merited any respect. I'd just be like, hey.
Hey, douchebags.
Right. I mean, but you know, I would try to come up with some sort of plan, some sort of tactical plan. I definitely don't think that I would jump in front of the house and be screaming dirty laundries. I don't think that would be my method.
I think I would roll underneath their car and just wait till they get there, and then, like, as soon as they're about to get in their car, latch onto their leg and be like, "I'm not letting him go. Tell me where, Brian."
That's assault, brother. So let me address this comment real quick. The most glaring, pun intended, I see what you did there, point of all this is that the parents who called in a missing person report for their son have hidden in their house, refusing to speak. Yeah, that's quite glaring. I agree with you. Let's see. While gardening, mind you, are not out searching for their loved one. If they didn't hide him, they would be out in the street, in the media, etc., to help find him. Exactly.
Especially if they said that they were concerned about his well-being and suicidal, blah 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 blah, whatever. That was spot on. If they were so concerned about his suicidal, wouldn't you be out there trying to help and trying to look for him?
I would be all over the press going, please. I understand what the Petitos and the Schmidts are going through, but our son is missing too. So please, and Brian, I implore you so that anything unnecessary doesn't happen. Because the thing is that the fact that we cannot escape from, I mentioned this on Josh's channel, the Dad Challenge podcast. I mentioned this on his channel numerous times in the chat, that there's not only are they behaving in an irresponsible fashion and not being respectful towards the Petitos and the Schmidts, but they're being completely and totally they're acting under the guise of protecting their son. But instead of actually protecting their son, what they're actually doing is putting him in direct danger if they're facilitating his hiding. If they're helping him hide, you know, or in some way, shape, or form, you know, covering him up in some way. Because, I mean, if you really cared about the safety of your son, if you're really trying to protect him, because the fact is he's facing possible life in prison, you know, but he's also facing the death penalty. Now, it's like John Walsh mentioned before, which I agree with 100%. If you're facing the death penalty, the smart way to go is, and the best chance that you have, Jolene, please, sweetie, I love you, but
she's licking off that stuff that you have, that's the candy, the sweet. She knows that you've been eating junk food.
I haven't though. Okay, now I'm gonna have to. Okay, geez, Jolene. So what I'm thinking, what John Walsh, he was, Leo. If you don't shut up, dude, Leopold. That's what I thought. Okay. So, well, whatever. Sorry, he's got the attitude. The point that John Walsh was making, Leo, if you one more time, dude, I swear to God, you're gonna get squirted with the spray bottle. Got a water bottle that keeps him from. Okay, again, I'm going to try to make this point. So John Walsh made the point that he's probably facing the death penalty, but if he pleads out, if his lawyer is doing his job the right way, then his lawyer would advise him to turn himself in and try to cut a deal. So this way, he at least has the chance of life in prison. You know what I mean? As opposed to the death penalty. Now, but the thing is if he's out there on the street, if he's out there in the woods or whatever, if he's at large, then he's putting himself in the danger of law enforcement being forced to do something that they probably don't want to do. You know, I mean, they're going to use tactical SWAT units. You know what I mean? And so therefore, I mean, yeah, there's the good chance if he plays this smart that he'll be taken alive in that situation. But it's quite possible that tensions being as high as they are, that situation could become very, very volatile. And he could end up just getting shot by the cops.
Yeah, could.
So, I mean, if I'm a parent, I'm considering this and I'm saying my son's best option is just to turn himself in.
It really is. In any sense, fashion, form, any way you think about it, that's the best option that he has, regardless of, even if he's out there, you think that there's people that don't want to kill you and hurt you and harm you anyway if they found you. You know what was making me laugh? And I was saying on my live the other day, I was talking about how we have all these Brian spottings now. Now we have all these Brian spottings and everybody's seen Brian and everybody's seen Brian. What would you do if you saw Brian? Because I guarantee you wouldn't do what some of these other people. I'd probably follow him. I'd figure out where he's going until I could get to a location where I could call somebody. Like if you know that this is the most haunted man, and some of these people are saying here, oh, I just didn't have cell phone service and I couldn't get to the, here, and you just let one of the most haunted dudes in America, and you're telling me you saw him, had a conversation when you walked away.
No, I would definitely do whatever I could to report him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I would try to apprehend him. I mean, the fact of the matter is
He'd be armed.
Yeah. I heard other creators go, well, why not we have all these vague pictures of him. Why doesn't anybody get close enough to him to take a decent picture? Well, I mean, he's a suspected murderer. You know what I mean? Are you capable of murder? You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm not getting close to I don't think I'm capable of murder. So I don't, I'm not going to get, even if he is a douche, you know what I mean? Like, of course we fantasize as men. We're like, yeah, I'd like to just sneak up behind him, grab him in a chokehold, say good night. Good night. Good night.
I probably would. I probably would be that dude. I would be the dude that probably they're like, well, Mexi ended up dying trying to catch Brian Laundrie because he went after him with nothing there, and he ended up shanking him to death. Yeah, that probably was
20 years ago. That would have been me too. Yeah. But I've got a little bit more sense these days. So I would probably just do. I mean, I would assess this. I would like to think. Let's just have a quick little fantasy scenario here, right? So if let's say I'm at Walmart and I see him just hanging out in front of like Walmart with all the other meth heads, right? I'm going to be like, holy crap, that's Brian Laundrie. And the last thing that I'm going to do is try to take his picture. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to call the tip line and I'm going to say, I see him. I'm 99% sure that it's him because there's no way of me being 100% sure. So, but if I'm so sure that it's him, I'm going to say I'm 99% sure that it's him. Sorry about that.
You're good.
But yeah, I would be like, yeah, there's probably a 99% chance that I'm sure it's him. And I would stay at least make sure that he's still in my visual, and this way, however long it takes the cops to get there, I'm going to be able to say, I saw him go that way, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to let the professionals do their job. At least I'd like to think that that's what I would do. But but no, I would not yell, "Hey, Baldo," because I would not want to spook him. You know what I mean? I don't want him to get up and run away. I want him, if he feels comfortable in the place that he's at, I want him to stay comfortable so that the police could just roll up on him.
Here would be me. I'd be the dummy doing this. I'm like, hey, can you take my phone real quick and just record this real quick?
Right. Yeah. If I actually carried, I would be like, hold it right there. I'd say, hey, get on your cell phone. This dude that I'm pointing my gun at is Brian Laundrie. And somebody's going to go, oh, you're right. Because that dude is all over the place in the media. He's all over the place. Are you good? Are you okay? Did you injure yourself in that?
I might have hurt my knee. It's cold. Oh, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, realistically, definitely I would want to, who wouldn't want to be the hero? You know what I mean? Yeah. Who wouldn't want that? But at the same time,
I just would want to apprehend him. I just couldn't let him out of my sight. And I feel
there's such a risk of screwing it up.
I know,
you know
but
what I mean?
I feel like I have even higher risk if I'm just like, if I call somebody, I'm like, okay, Brian's here. He's about to take off, blah, 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 boom. And then he's gone. And then I'm like, damn it, I had my opportunity. I could never live with that. Like, I honestly, myself, I could never live with that. I'm like, the opportunity was like right freaking there. It was right in front of me. It was my chance to freaking apprehend. Regardless of whatever happens, that sucks. But
what if you apprehending him like that and taking it in your own hands? What if somehow you ended up tainting some sort of evidence? Right? I mean, there's always that chance. That's why my fail-safe is always just let the professionals do what they do. Like,
I'll let them work that out.
I would love to. Yeah, I would love to be the dude on TMZ going, yeah,
yeah.
Got him. Right. But sure, who wouldn't, but you know what I mean? Like, it's probably not the greatest, the most logical thing to do. There are professionals charged with the responsibility, dog. At first I was like kind of trashing the whole dog thing. But dog's involvement, it seems to be like he's just working in capacity of a tracker. He's chasing down his own leads, and it couldn't hurt, and if he finds out where he is, he's going to notify the FBI, and the FBI are going to take over.
Yep.
I have absolutely no problem with that. I think it's great, actually.
Yeah. And it brings more awareness. Like, even if he's not doing it, he's bringing more awareness to it. So putting more, people out there that are like, oh, this Brian dude, I would have never known if Brian or if Dog the Bounty Hunter would have never brought it up. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
thank you, B-News.
I hate to do this, my brother, but I gotta take off. Those dogs are killing him. Look at him. He's like, hey.
She's the loudest one too, Coda. And it's all because one of the other dogs is in her face. Can you not? Yeah. It's the Huskies are Leo's the dad, Coda's the mom, and Jolene is the daughter. She has the worst bark. Coda has the worst bark. Oh my god. Yeah. It's so high pitched.
I got to take off, my brother, but thank you so much for having me on the channel, man. I can't wait till we could talk again a little bit more about this. We should plan something else so we could talk a little bit more about it, see what comes up, and see if anything new comes up on it.
I agree, man. I would love that. Thank you.
So
better get on that cardio, dude. Because
I'm going to tonight.
Dude, I've
been on it, man. I've been on it. I haven't given up.
Like, I'm with you. I'm gonna keep my progress quiet. I'm gonna keep it quiet like you are. But I'm not going to stop talking.
I should have never told you. I should have just telling me, like, okay, I know I got to lose this much pounds. Okay, I got it.
So, no, I mean, Josh on his last live stream says he lost 2 pounds. So congratulations to him.
That's awesome. Yes, man.
So, yeah.
It's a win-win for everybody, regardless of whoever wins or whatever, as long as we're all trying to get healthier and stuff. I mean, it's a win-win for everybody. So, but thank you guys. Blair, man, thanks so much for having me on it. And everybody out there, thank you so much. You guys are super awesome. Thanks. I appreciate you guys for tolerating my nonsense. And you guys are awesome.
Thanks, man.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you later. See you.
All right. All right. So Roro here says detain Brian and hand him over to Gabby's dad. Priceless. Sounds like justice to me. Technically, that would be justice. Sure. But here's the thing: is I don't even think Gabby's dad. I don't even think Joe wants Brian handed over to him. Because any father and he comes off like that kind of dad that might just, but he also, and I want to give him the benefit of the doubt because he does seem like an intense individual, most definitely, but he also seems focused on his directives, whatever they need to be. And if his focus is allowing law enforcement to do their job, then he probably would. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt that he would have that self-control and not actually like take matters into his own hands necessarily. So I want to give Joe the benefit of the doubt as far as that goes, because we all want justice for Gabby, but we also want to see due process work. Right now, and I don't want to get political on it, but the country's in a certain state right now, and what we need right now is a little fair due process. That's what we need right now. No matter who the offender is, we need some fair due process without the corruption, without but now morally, those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for a long time, and we talk about these things, and this subject comes up where any justice is justice. Well, I'm of the opinion that is the case. Do I want that to be the case? No, I don't necessarily want someone to take matters into their own hands, including Gabby's dad, and do something terrible to Brian. But if he gets locked up in prison and somebody doesn't like what he did and he ends up paying the price in prison with his life, to me, that's beyond me. Justice is justice. That has nothing to do with me, and I'm not going to shed a tear over him for it. The world is a messed up place, and if you do messed up things and bad people who actually have a certain moral code, believe it or not, who may have kids and they take matters into their own hands while he's in prison, that is not my problem, and I am not going to cry 1 second over this dude. You don't kill your girlfriend. You don't want to get shanked in prison. Don't kill your girlfriend. It's just that simple. So yeah, I mean, they're going to find him. It's just a matter of time. They're going to find him. Now, I'm going to go ahead and play the entire interview here with Cassandra Laundrie, or I don't know what her married name is. I'm just calling her Laundrie. See, be muted. It sounds morbid. Thank you again for the super chat. It sounds morbid, but maybe Brian told them that he couldn't face going to jail and just let him go. I mean, why would his parents just do that? And then not like, you know what I mean? Why would they respect that? That's stupid. I mean, I'm not saying you're stupid. I'm saying it would be stupid for the parents to do that, to just respect that. They any parent, if they're trying to protect them, which we believe that he is, that they are, well, then they're going to to say, hey, you know, he told us this. We're worried about him.
Thank you.
We want to know what the hell.
No. Hey!
We have fully cooperated with the police.
Wow. So, okay. So they come out and talk, and there's already people. We want to know what the hell. And this dude's like, hey. He's a smart guy because he wants to get the interview. He wants to get them talking. You get them defensive, they're going to turn around, run back inside their house. You won't hear from them again. So he's controlling the situation, which I like.
Since September 11th, when they called, I did not say that I saw my brother. I said I haven't been able to speak to him in reference to the time when I was called by the police. Since that point, I haven't been able to speak to my brother.
No, you said you didn't.
I've been
What
honest.
happened?
I don't know what happened.
Yeah. The thing about it is we know Gabby's family. Gabby is.
We do too.
What do you want us to do?
We cooperate with the police. We're not supposed to talk to anybody, and you're making my children cry.
Everything is everybody else's fault. Most say he wouldn't take his life being the narcissist he is, but he knows he can't hide forever and would rather take his own life than go to jail. I don't know about that. I'm not sure I completely agree with that. Thank you for the super chat. But I'm not, I don't know if I completely agree with that. That's definitely a possibility. I mean, I'm not eliminating the possibility, but I'm not going to take it as a likelihood. At least I'm not ready to do that yet, if that makes sense.
Was Brian with you on September 1st? Did he come to this house?
Yes, he came to this house with my parents in their Mustang, not the van. I did not know that he took that van back. I found out the next day with everybody else. We are just as upset, frustrated, and heartbroken as everybody else. And I am losing my parents.
Okay, so what I was talking about with Mexi earlier is interesting. Okay, what I talked about with Mexi earlier was that I wondered how that worked out with the timeline. She's saying that Brian came to her house on September 1st. Okay, came to her house on September 1st. Now, is she saying that's the last time she saw him? Because she did say, I haven't seen my brother. But if they went on that camping trip from September 11th to September 13th, and she was registered as one of the names in the family that was on that campsite, well, then she's lying. She's lying again here. Not just before did she lie, but she's lying again now here. And she's really bad at it.
And my brother and my children's aunt and my future sister-in-law on top of this, and you're not helping.
Why your parents? Why your parents? You're talking about
Because
Christmas.
they're not talking to us either.
Why aren't they talking to you guys?
If I knew, I would say. I don't know.
Do you think they're involved? Your parents?
I don't know.
You don't know.
We know.
You're not involved?
We have literally been finding everything out with the news. With like.
Now the husband, I believe. You know what I mean? The husband's just like, whatever. I'm just gonna back up my wife. You know, like he's probably, she seems like the one who does most of the talking, and I can see her being the type that's like, hey, just shut up, you know, and just nod and smile. But I don't think that they necessarily rehearsed this. This maybe took a total of 30 seconds before they walked out the front door and decided to do this. But dude isn't saying anything, but he's you know, just kind of agreeing with everything that she's saying and just emphasizing on it.
Everybody else. My kids are upset. You're upsetting my neighbors, and all we want to do is let you guys know that we don't know.
What happened? What did you guys do on the 6th through the 8th at Fort DeSoto?
We were at Fort DeSoto on the 6th. We got there at around 2 o'clock, and we left around 8 because the kids had school the next day.
On the 6th?
On the 6th. We only stayed for about 6 hours.
Who was there?
My mom, my dad, my brother.
Would you guys be willing to go on record to say?
Okay, so now she's saying that he was there on the 6th and she saw them there on the 6th. Okay. He says, I think he's hiding, but it's all so hard to make sense of. So I'm reaching. Yeah, we're all reaching, BMUs. Thank you again for the super chat. Yeah, we're all reaching right now because we're all just trying to. This is the thing is this happens. I remember I was talking earlier to my brother today. And my brother was like, why is it, murders happen every day? Why is it always just this one that the whole country fixates on? And I'm like, it's not that, let's keep this in mind, people. It's not so much that we just cherry pick a case. It's the circumstances that make the case so intriguing that gathers so much attention. The reason why this case, it's not because she's a pretty little blonde white girl. That's not the reason. The reason is because the boyfriend is at large. He is totally suspected. All of his actions make him a suspect, and yet he hasn't been named a suspect, and yet he has lawyered up. And his family is not cooperating. His family is not acting distance with someone who with a family whose son is missing, or maybe a danger to themselves. So that's why the whole country is captivated by this. That's exactly why. It's just like the De Belvallo thing, man. The De Belvallo thing, it was the circumstances. The kids went missing and they stonewalled everybody. They just pretended like everything was all good. They go to Hawaii, they get married, and everybody's like, how can you do this when your kids are missing? It's the circumstances, people. It's the circumstances that get us all going, what in the hell is going on here?
That you would like your brother Brian
The FBI
Laundrie
knows all this. They've
to
known this
turn
since
himself over
what
to the
what
authorities.
what was going on at
And I
Fort
believe
Desoto
him when he
campground? What
says
were you guys
this
doing
right
there?
here.
Like, were they?
You got to understand what she's doing here. She's not trying to proclaim innocence or anything like that. She's trying to get people off of her property. She's like, well, what the hell am I going through this for if my family's not even talking to me and I had nothing to do with any of this? You know what I'm saying? So that's where she's at. She's not keeping up with her stories as to when she saw Brian, but I don't think that she had anything to do with hiding him or giving him a head start to run. I'm not getting that from her. She just doesn't want to get hassled by the press, and she doesn't want her neighbors to hate her guts. She doesn't want to be one of the hatest people, one of the people most hated in the United States. So the fact that their family is not even talking to her, so why is she even doing it? What's the point? Why should she suffer? So I get why she's like, the husband is over here going, the FBI already knows everything. We've told the FBI everything. And I don't doubt that they've cooperated with the FBI. And as a matter of fact, if she did cooperate with the FBI, that would also make sense as to why her family isn't speaking to her.
Is there a campfire?
We had s'mores, we had dinner.
What did Brian say anything about Gabby?
We had our kids there. Nothing came up.
He didn't say anything about Gabby.
No, we've told the FBI everything.
Did Brian go?
The world does not need to know what the FBI knows. That's why we're silent.
They've asked us to not say anything. Really.
This is me coming out against them.
They're suffering. Big time.
That makes sense. Either she's really good at spitting this, either she's really good at that, or she's just making perfect sense. Either way, she's making sense. Depending on whether or not it's just to benefit herself or what. But she's over here saying that, the FBI is saying, hey, don't tell anybody what you told us because that would impede on their investigation. That could absolutely muddy the waters of their investigation. So that's what we don't want. We want the professionals to be able to solve this. We want the professionals to be able to locate Brian, bring him to justice, have enough evidence to convict him in a court of law. Hopefully it's enough evidence to where he'll plead out and plead guilty and not put the family through the pain of a trial. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm not seeing somebody who's not cooperating. You know what I mean? Does she get to be hung up on? Does she get to be hung up in the same, place with her own family, with the rest of her family because they're not cooperating? I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. because I'm honestly believing more and more as I'm hearing her talk that the reason why her family's not talking to her is because she's willing to cooperate and tell them what she knows, and I'm guessing that she probably doesn't know much other than the times that she saw them. She probably lied to the public so that this wouldn't happen, so that there wouldn't be people camped out in front of her house. As long as she's cooperating with law enforcement, that's all I care about, because the truth is she doesn't owe us any answers. That's a fact. She owes us nothing. Her or her husband do not owe us any explanation. We are not the people charged with the responsibility of locating Brian Laundrie and solving the murder of Gabby Petito. None of us are. So I don't blame her. Yes, I do think he's still alive and hiding, B-Muse. I do believe that.
Suffering. Well,
They're suffering.
To be fair,
I
they lost a
understand
life.
your view.
I mean, to be fair, they lost a
100%.
life. So
I know.
I
We
really
could've
feel
too.
bad for you, but again, I don't
No,
feel bad
I
for
know.
you.
That's
Yeah, but why not? Why not? Why doesn't she feel better? You see what I'm saying? Like, because the husband didn't ask for any of this. Leo, shut up. I just said shut up, dude. Come on. The husband didn't ask for any of this, and she's got kids, right? Her neighbors didn't ask for any of this. And why should she, if she's the one person in this entire family who is cooperating with the FBI, why should she be scrutinized by her neighbors and by her and by strangers camping out in front of her house? Right. It's like, yeah, it kind of got me a little upset too, man. Like, that's not cool,
Fine,
She's-
you feel how you feel. We hope how we feel. My kids are upset. You're upsetting my children, who are very upset that they had to find out that their aunt died from you people screaming it at them from the house. So
Wow.
that's not
Where
fair.
was that at?
On Saturday when you were here.
Your aunt died.
No, their aunt.
Their aunt died.
Yes.
Yeah, genius. Jesus.
They
Come on,
considered her
man.
Aunt Gabby forever. So
To be honest with you, we can't even hear you inside.
We can
I mean,
couldn't figure it out.
So where else have you seen Brian since
that's
September
it. I
1st?
have not seen anybody after 8 o'clock.
That dude is like, if I'm being honest, we can't even hear you inside. So you're wasting your breath by screaming all these obscenities at us. You know what I mean?
On September 6th, I have not spoken to my parents.
How long did they stay there? Do you know? Like at
I
the
don't know.
Fort DeSoto Grant? Did Brian go off on his own into the woods or
no
anything?
idea.
We
What
don't
we've
know.
been told, we know as much as you.
Did you? So when he came here September 1st, right? You said he came. What did he come here for?
My parents wanted to surprise the kids to pick them up at school. I did not know that Brian was with them when we had previously planned to hang out with them. This is not what we want to be doing. This is not how we want the world.
Maybe I'm overthinking this, but I wonder. Maybe that was a request from Brian. Hey, let me see my nieces or nephews before I go on the run. I want to see them one more time. So they requested that they pick them up from school, right? I wonder if that's the case. Like I said, I'm overthinking here. We're just speculating, but that would make sense to me. But I mean, or they're just in town. They're just in town. They're going to be in town for long. So, you mind if we pick up the kids just so we can spend a couple minutes with them? That also makes sense too.
To find out when we're angry and upset. But I can't have my kids be crying for 3 days in a row.
What did the FBI take out of the house here? Like what?
Nothing.
They came here though.
Yes.
During
We met with them multiple times.
you met with them multiple times. Did they ask you for like polygraphs or anything like that? No.
Yeah, see, that tells me, if they're telling the truth, that tells me that they are cooperating 100%, and they felt no need or just cause to go get a search warrant for their home. Now, What if Brian's hanging out in there? What if he's in the basement? If they never search their house, see what I'm saying? That there's always two sides to a coin, guys. When we follow real crime cases, there's always two sides to a coin. So what if that's the case? What if, what if she's cooperating to a certain extent to where maybe they're that smart and they don't give them so much information, and dude is just shacked up inside their attic or in their basement while they're in, what are they, in Florida? I don't even know where she lives. But I would say attic. Chances are they don't have a basement. Thank you, Cherry. Real crime. Thank you.
We don't know.
We're not involved in this at all.
He's my brother, and that's it.
The parents, we've been outside the parents' home for 2 weeks straight.
I know. I've been
There's
watching.
parents' home for 2 weeks
I
straight.
know. I've been
There's
watching.
there's people out there. They feel your family's involved. A cloud of suspicion. The reason why we're here for you is because the media
ended up misconstruing what I said when they asked me if I had seen my brother. Like I said in the beginning, they didn't say, "Have you seen Brian?" It was, "What's the weirdest thing about this all?" It was, I haven't been able to speak to my brother. I tried to contact him after this. I tried to contact my family after this. I hadn't been able to speak to my brother.
Do you know about any additional burner phones?
I have no idea.
So you don't know nothing.
No,
Like, after.
he's my brother that I don't talk to that much.
And the parents ain't talking to you. Your own parents are not talking to you for what reason? They just.
The lawyer said no.
Who's the lawyer?
Their parents' lawyer.
Their
We don't
lawyers.
have a lawyer. We have nothing to hide. We were told not to talk to anybody, and I'm upset that we have to come out and do this and then explain myself to the FBI.
So when Gabby was missing, the parents weren't even looking for her. They weren't even out looking for her.
We don't even know what they knew. We can
Do you
assume.
know that she was missing when they went to Fort DeSoto?
No.
You didn't have no
September
clue that
11th,
she was missing.
The detective that was working with Gabby's mom called me up while we were on vacation.
We were in Orlando.
And then I called her back because we were eating dinner, and I told her everything she needed to know. We told them from day one that we were at Fort DeSoto with them on the 6th, and we came over here on the 1st. The police has known everything that's out there the whole time, from September 11th night on. That's when I became involved, and I knew nothing before that.
Other questions?
See, here's the thing, and there's still another 13 minutes left of this. But the grand scheme of things, right? The big picture I'm getting here is, like I said, I don't think it really matters whether or not she lied to us, right? Whether she lied to Good Morning America, whoever. As long as she's cooperating with law enforcement, maybe she's lying to law enforcement, but she's at least talking to them. And it's their job to be able to figure out whether or not she's lying. And I have to have faith that law enforcement is doing what they have to do to figure that out. Now, I mean, why haven't they searched her house? Well, they haven't had any cause to, most likely. They haven't had any cause to. And again, they haven't named him as a suspect of unaliving anyone. They've named him as a suspect of bank fraud. So, does that merit raiding someone's house? You know what I mean? So before everybody starts going, why haven't they searched her house? They haven't probably found enough reason to get a warrant to do so.
What were your thoughts after you found out she was missing and your brother was here by himself and in her van and ran up $1,000 on her credit
These are
card?
things we're not allowed to answer.
Have you ever seen Brian hit Gabby?
No.
Have you ever seen him fight?
No.
Have you ever seen him hit any woman?
No, I've never seen him be
Domestic
abusive
violence
or
runs your
angry
family.
in anything. No.
You know that we talked to neighbors. We canvassed your parents' neighborhood.
Yeah.
They've heard screams coming out of your parents' house on multiple occasions.
Your parents' home.
Okay,
Screams.
I don't know what to tell you about
Might have
that.
been our kids. We lived there for a year.
This is the problem with people, these fanatical people, man. Like this lady, she's not a professional journalist and she's not a professional investigator of any kind, shape, or form. She's not any of those things. and she's really just somebody camped out in front of their house and giving them a hard time. And so she's just jumping to these questions, jumping to conclusions, and fishing for answers that she's already come up with in her own mind to justify her camping out and disturbing their peace. You know, she's super angry. I mean, so why would you think? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is what makes her think that they're going to have answers as to what goes on in Brian's parents' house. She's obviously living with a husband, has a family of her own. She has no idea what the hell goes on in that house. She probably is too consumed with her own family. It totally comes off that way.
Oh, you lived at the home in Wabasso?
Yeah,
Gabby and Brian lived with us.
when they were in New York.
And you've never seen them fight, no argue, no.
Of course, you know, we
But
bicker,
nothing-
everybody bickers, but nothing like what any, like, no
Nothing that would
domestic anything.
constitute domestic violence.
No,
No.
yes, or else we would have done something about it.
Right.
Like, I don't stand for that. I was in a bad relationship similar to that, what's saying has happened. I wouldn't let that happen. We're
Not evil monsters were made out to be.
A lot of people just want answers. There's a cloud of
I-
suspicion.
Well,
Nobody
they want answers.
nobody
They
came to your
want
house, I'm
answers.
sure, to after it came out in the media, they said, "Oh, you lied." They said that you
yeah,
misled
I've
the
been accused of lying.
saying
but
that you
it's
didn't
not
see it.
true.
No, people said she
didn't say
lied.
that.
I said she
That
lied.
I didn't speak to them after that question was like, what was the weirdest thing that I haven't been able to talk to my brother? As in, from the 11th forward, I have not been able
So
to
then the
talk to
media
my
spun it
brother.
around.
Yes,
If you read the transcript, it's right
the transcripts are out there of everything that was said, and then I was misquoted on inside the article, but that's not what I said.
See, and I actually agree with you, Natasha Hatz. But the thing is I'm thinking in a different place. You know, I'm in a different spot because I'm thinking that I'm thinking that that's not even the point. You know, I agree that she's, you know, she tried to cover things up, but I think it wasn't out of fear of being prosecuted for anything. It was out of fear of having people camped out in front of her house the way they are in front of her parents. You know what I mean? She has kids. She's worried about her kids. She's worried about the way she's going to look to her neighbors. You know, they had probably had a great relationship with their neighbors before all this happened. And because her brother goes and does something stupid, now, you know what I mean? Now she's dealing with this. So my point is that she probably, you know, if she lied, it wasn't to try to avoid prosecution in any way. She was trying to avoid getting scrutinized by the public, which wasn't the right thing to do. But at the same time, I can somewhat understand why she would do that, because she doesn't want to disappoint her family. She doesn't want to be disloyal to her family either. So I kind of understand that. I kind of do. I'm not saying that I agree with it. I'm not saying that I condone it. I'm just saying that I see where it's coming from. So B Muse saying, thank you again for the super chat. B probably told his parents a lie when he came back, takes off to camp and clear his mind, knowing he claimed not hearing the news that he wanted. Yeah, possibly. The thing is she probably does know a lot more than what she's saying, right? But if the FBI is telling her, hey, don't speak publicly about this, it's because the FBI doesn't want Brian to know what they know. Does that make sense, people? That's perfectly common in an investigation. That is a perfectly common tactic of law enforcement when it comes to an investigation. So it makes sense to me that they would simply just be like, well, you know, all right, thank you for your cooperation. Do not post any of this stuff on social media. Do not give interviews telling people what you told us, because we want to be able to bring Brian in safe. And the best way we can do that is he doesn't see us coming, you know? So we want to be able to bring him in safe so that there's nobody else gets hurt. There's already been enough hurt and Lord knows death. So let's try to bring your brother in safe because that's his best option. You know what I mean? So you don't want her blabbing to the public everything that she let the FBI know. The FBI doesn't want the public to know what they know. I mean, it's not like they're avoided, Adachi Love, and you're not going to get me started on that. They're not typically avoided. Again, the thing is there's circumstances involved that make these things public interests, just like the Orrin and Orson Welles case. Okay, that case was very, very public because of the circumstances involved. 2 kids don't just disappear from the backyard. You know what I'm saying? They just don't. So when there's something fishy like this, that's the kind of thing that gets the public's attention. So it's not a question of white or person of color. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's just this was it solved though, Adachi Love? Was it solved? That's the question. Was it solved? So what you should be asking, since you're so worried about minority cases versus, Caucasian cases, for lack of a better term, then what you should do is maybe bring up that case again. Why did you just let it go? I mean, you're sitting here, you're telling me, you're sitting here and you're acting like a social justice warrior in my chat, which is fine and great, and I hope you make a big difference. But you're showing me and my chat that that's not really what your concern is. Because if your concern was that, then you would be fixated on that. You would not have given some answer in my chat going, oh, come on, that was a long time ago. Like it's old news. Like it's a repeat episode of a true crime case that you watch on ID because you look at people like this as characters in a movie instead of real people. So do not come in my chat and act all high and mighty and act like you're all righteous and everything, saying, oh, well, we need to focus more on cases that involve minorities. But the fact of the matter is that the Orrin and Orson Welles case, that case was not solved. Yet everybody forgot all about it. The question you should be asking is, why isn't anybody talking about that case anymore? If you're so concerned, that's all I'm going to say about that.
I'm sincere.
I think you guys need to make like a public statement telling Brian to turn himself in. I think that would ease a lot of people's.
Sure.
Yeah. Do you think he's dead?
No idea.
Where does he camp?
I like
here?
the
Like
guy.
where else besides Fort DeSoto?
We've told
Sure, she's giving
the
all that
FBI
information.
everything.
And when you guys were children, you're obviously your whole family's outdoorsy. So when you guys were children, like every summer I went to a place. Where was your summer vacations at normally?
We didn't have that. We grew up on a great street where our summer vacation was hanging out with our friends. So
I mean, we have to. We are here for
Same
the
boat.
Petito family. They are suffering bravely, things that you will never even feel.
Hope not.
And
I
it's just right now. Having your family destroyed, and then the people that you trusted your family member with
Why is this
ignoring you
dude
and hanging up the telephone on you.
I understand.
This guy's like, make sure everybody
I'm
knows
being ignored
the
by my
content.
family
I did
and
this.
put on
I'm the
bus
guy.
By my family's attorney.
Why? Would
I just said I liked him.
Like why?
Protect his client because she's not their client.
So I'm just as mad.
Did they have a storage shed, Gabby, and
They have a storage locker.
Brian? Do you know where it was? In
I have no idea.
Do you know what date your brother flew back that your dad paid for the plane?
Didn't even know he paid for the plane.
God, she's
Did he
got
fly
such a
back
Karen
from-
voice
They
too.
flew back,
Like
and they
around
have
like what the
a storage
17th or
shed, and they
something?
put it into their house.
Around like the 17th or something
Yeah,
after the
he
fight.
got here on the 17th. I don't know what day he left.
Did you see him on that trip?
Yes.
What was discussed? Anything? Was he discussed about?
They were talking. He was telling me where they were going next. I FaceTimed with Gabby and the kids on that trip. I mean,
Did he say he got in a fight with Gabby?
No.
He didn't talk about that incident.
Just was a surprise to us.
Yeah. We're unfortunately in the dark as much as everybody else. And
What was your brother like when he was in middle school and a teenager? What was he
I
like?
didn't live in the house at the time.
Has he ever been violent with you?
No.
Never
Violent with
fight
anybody?
your brother? I mean, me and my sister went at it.
You already asked her
pulled my
that.
hair, kicked me in my eye.
We're 8 or 9 years apart. We're not.
Yeah, you're older.
Yeah. He's not like my. We were little together, brother. I mean, I was.
But you guys lived in the house at Wabasso. Everybody lived there.
No, my parents lived in New York.
Oh, they live in New York. You lived in.
Yeah, think about that. If she's 9 years older than him, she's 9 when he was born. So by the time that he's, you know, beyond a cute toddler, and he's just, you know, he starts elementary school and he's being an annoying kid, she's out with her friends all the time. She's out doing whatever. She's hardly home, probably, you know, or she's keeping to herself. You know what I mean? She's you know what I mean? So no, why would, how is he going to be that violent with her? And even still, that's not uncommon for a kid, a small kid, to look at their older sister who's that much older than her, because my kids are 6 years apart. To look at that person and be like, well, you're not my mom, you know, and not have a whole lot of respect. But what's funny is with my kids, that didn't really happen. My son and my daughter actually got along really, really well, and still do.
Yeah.
We were remodeling the house.
And then Brian and Gabby came there.
When they moved down to Florida, they moved in with us to get on their feet.
How did they
find
meet?
jobs.
High school.
That's,
Well,
I
you
feel like I'm answering too many things.
Yeah, I understand, and I appreciate and respect. Out of respect, we're gonna leave. We're gonna leave out of respect. We're gonna leave.
We appreciate you.
I don't think we're gonna be back.
Because to be
And
honest
I'm
with you,
sorry.
This is what we wanted, right here.
No,
This
I
is
know,
what we
100%.
wanted, and this.
We were told not to come out, but I can't have my kids crying.
Well, the fact that you came out, we're not coming back.
Yeah, we're not.
I mean, unless you're lying or there's something.
And what are you going to do? Why, you know what I'm saying? If she's lying, that's not your place to come. You know what I mean? Like, let law enforcement deal with it. At least she's cooperating with law enforcement, at least to some degree. Social awareness is happening, B Muse says, with another $4.99 super chat. Thank you. She is helping to bring that to the forefront. DV, highly misunderstood. Adachi, be thankful she is leaving a legacy. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, one issue, it's not like an issue isn't being addressed here. That's actually a very good point. B Muse. That's actually an excellent point. You know, yeah, because that particular social issue may not be, you know, maybe this situation can't, you know, validly, you know, be used in order to bring that issue to the forefront and put eyes on it. You know, maybe that's the case. But the fact is, you know, another social issue, a very serious social issue, which is DV, is being brought into the forefront. This is a big deal, and this is a good thing. You know, it's unfortunate that someone had to lose their life to wake everybody up to it. It's unfortunate that some douche has to run from the law and get his family to cover up for him, you know, to make everybody aware of it. But nevertheless, I'm proud to be living in a country where we are looking at this in that sense, and we are looking at, okay, what is the problem? We're not looking at this as just entertainment. We're looking at this as, what is the problem and how can we solve it? And the problem here in this particular case seems to be DV. And so there's a lot of attention on that now, especially how, and thank goodness for that body cam footage, because now there's attention on how police are handling DV situations and where they could use improvement in handling DV situations. So things are getting done. Things are getting done. It may not be the social issue that you're most passionate about, but it's a social issue that many are passionate about. And it's a social issue, nevertheless, that needs to be addressed. That is a serious problem in our society right now. So in that sense, I do agree with BMuse. In that sense, I am grateful that at least now this issue is being addressed so publicly and so adamantly right now.
New something. We're not coming back. God bless you guys.
No, us too.
We just want justice for her.
We're upset. We're sad.
And you see, we're rational people.
This is
We just
only
want answers.
more than
We want
halfway
disclosure
over.
for Gabby.
I would, if I were you, change your strategy because you know,
Where our summer vacation was hanging out with our friends.
Wait, no, is that true?
It's a tough situation, and
True. The interviewer is the dude that claimed to be Nicole Kessinger's estranged husband. He inserts himself in high-profile cases and is the most litigated man ever. 2,600 plus lawsuits. What? Dude, they're going to make a Netflix documentary about this guy, and it's going to be a joke. But that is if it's true. I need some verification on that. I'll do a whole live just on that dude. I don't care. If that's true, I'll do a whole live just on that dude alone. Louisiana girl, thank you. Thank you so much for shining a spotlight on this because it needs to be. Thank you. Well, I get picking my wedgies. I get that yeah, Cloud's clearly what he's after, and if I did a whole live on him, sure, I get it. But also, I mean, but is anybody talking about the fact that he's like that he's this person? I'd rather expose him for what he is, you know, play the long game. You know what I mean? Like expose him for what he is. And then people will be on to him. So when he goes looking for clout later, he'll be like, people will be like, oh, no, we know who you are, dude. He'll sue me. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. He's in a what? This gets better and better. Jonathan Lee Riches. Look him up. He's an old-time hardliner. Hey, Cherry, do me a favor and message me that name so that I don't forget it, please. Thank you. B Muse, thank you again for the super chat. Appreciate it. I am a certified DV advocate for victims. Thank you for response. Education for police response is crucial. Body cam proves it. Yeah, man. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. So yeah, and thank you for what you do. It's great that somebody advocates. Party liner is she said old time party liner, Ellie Belly. So I'm thinking that it means like somebody that like used to like be on party lines, you know. This is the new party line. StreamYard on YouTube is the new party line. Think about it. How many drama channels just open up their panel and just like everybody just bickers at each other, right? Like that's all it is. It's 5-way phone calls. That's a party line. Back in the day, you just sit on the phone and talk, which I never did because now I would have as a kid. I totally would have. But there's my parents would have like killed me over the phone bill over that. So I just never did. I was never bold enough to like try to make a 900 or 976 call. Some of you guys don't even know what I'm talking about, but most of you do, because I looked at my demographic. You guys mostly are around my age. So yeah, party lines. I never did the party lines. Did you do thyme and kale? I'm doing thyme and kale with this diet. I know what you mean, though. I don't know if he did time in jail. Pick up my wedgies used to do party lines. Okay. He was one of the very first people with other social engineers to SWAT. What? So this guy's a swatting pioneer? This guy sucks, dude. Is that true? That is, dude, that's infuriating that this dude is one of the first swatters. He's a pioneer in swatting. A pioneer in being a total douche basket.
I'm hearing you, and I appreciate you guys coming out and talking. We do respect that, and that's why. And this, again, if no one, I don't think anyone would have ever came to your house until the media came out and said, "Well,
the media said that, and my parents' lawyer really screwed me over by saying that he just.
Well, I saw the comment that
he did not just stop by on the way home, and I was livid, and I'm not speaking to anybody.
Yeah, no.
I'm done. Because that put me in danger. That made my kids find out this horrible way with questions. We were waiting until there was some kind of closure, so the kids were just sad instead of sad, worried, and now really scared of you guys.
Well, based off all the stuff on the internet, do you think Brian killed Gabby?
I don't know. The internet is the internet.
Understand. If you had anything to say to Gabby's family, what would you say?
We've already reached out through the FBI to them. So
you have yours. Yeah. I mean, I know the family person.
Okay, so B Muse, you're saying, what are your thoughts on the guy that saw him in Tennessee near the Appalachian Trail? I don't have any reason to feel like he's being untruthful. Like, he is adamant. He's saying, I spoke to the FBI. That dude is 100% the guy that I saw. He said that. He was like, he's 100% the guy that he saw, that he knew it then. So I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. He sounds pretty sure. That's all I can say on that. Yeah, but I bet you they could hear the bullhorn, though.
Personally, and I can share this. What do you have to say to Gabby's family?
I don't have anything to say right now because the police has told us specifically not to talk to anybody or anything.
And she's going outside of that talking to you.
Yeah.
So you have to respect.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna do it.
So Karen turned.
You didn't say anything that you didn't tell them.
They know everything.
Karen's convinced now.
Honestly, September 11th night forward, we've been cooperative.
It's just frustrating
met
because
them.
the family's upset because they're not.
And now understand why she would like shut down. Understand why she would shut down and say and not address Gabby's family. Now, anything, you know what I'm saying? If they want to twist something that she says into being, harassment in some way, shape, or form, it's probably best that she doesn't address Gabby's family. She doesn't have any reason to address Gabby's family. According to what we know anyway, unless she helped and she had something to do with all of this, then yeah, of course, then she owes Gabby's family some sort of explanation, but she doesn't owe anybody an explanation simply by being Brian's sister. You know what I mean? Dude, I love Jolene, and I love when she hangs out with me, but she was licking me too much, man. It was driving me crazy. Like, just licking my arm. You know what I mean? It was weird. Like, cut it out,
I have no idea what they have.
They won't give them.
I don't know.
Parents have hung up the phone on them. I mean, it's just frustrating. You know,
I'd also like to say,
Why can't
that
anybody say
not
R
to,
and frustrating?
upset Mr. Petito.
They keep
and
saying
for him,
frustrating.
I did not get any phone calls from him in the days prior to this September 11th. September 11th, I checked my phone records. I don't see any. He maybe had the wrong number for me. So I was not ignoring his phone calls. I
Right.
didn't get them.
Our first one was from the.
and that could have
Suffolk
happened. He
County
could have
Sheriff.
had the wrong phone number. It's very easy. So
We called them right back.
it doesn't, you know.
It's just sad.
in
It's
our
just a
view,
sad
this is not
situation.
how
It's just
innocent
sad.
people
You know,
are.
I don't know what to
Sure.
think, but I appreciate you guys coming out.
Yeah, definitely.
And I do appreciate you coming out. I don't know what to think.
I hope
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, to us, the silence was like a form of guilt. You understand?
Oh yes,
Like-
I understand. But for us, silence was not guilt. Silence was
Well,
the
nobody
FBI
came here
telling us
until
not
the
to.
lie
Yes,
was
I
portrayed.
And,
know.
you know-
and
Funny people.
She's totally like
Well,
separating
they
herself from her
actually
family.
don't,
She's
yeah.
like, yeah, that's them.
There's
That's me.
there's
That's them.
people
For me,
upset. They just want to. They want Brian because he's on the loose.
trust me, I understand.
Whether he's dead or
I
alive, he's
want
out
it to
there.
down because one,
The sooner
this
he's
sucks
found, the
for us.
sooner
Yeah.
this is over for us.
Yes,
We can start the
And that's what we
closure
keep trying
process.
to express to your parents is that if they can just come out and just start cooperating
I'm making a statement.
and making a statement,
I know.
we will go away.
I've
I mean,
been-
we have to. We are here.
Same-
We
Bless
just
you
want
guys.
justice for her.
No, us too.
We just
It's my
want justice
exam.
for her.
We're upset. We're sad.
And you see, we're
Understand.
rational people. We just want answers. We want just closure for daddies.
I would, if I were you, change your strategy because you know
We
they
don't
don't
have
have.
Yeah, they don't even have a lawyer.
Gabby deserves better, and maybe help pressure your parents into doing the right
no,
thing.
change your
Telling them
strategy because it
Gabby's
benefits
family's
you,
suffering
Karen.
Bravely, and your parents know more than they're letting on, and it sounds like they deceived you, which is not good for any parent. And I'm just
We're not even
hoping that
talking with
maybe some
them, so-
pressure from the family might help them cooperate with law enforcement so we can put an end to this. Like, I got better things to do. I'm burnt up. I've got chapped lips.
We've been out there.
I'm sick and tired
We've
of
been,
being
you have a
Well,
beautiful
maybe
neighborhood.
mind your own business and
We've
you
been
won't get
outside your
chapped
parents'
lips,
home for
lady.
2 weeks. We just want answers. We want them to come forward and share everything they know. But they refuse to, they just stay silent. They're in their home. Yesterday they went out gardening in the back of their house, during, Brian's on the loose. They haven't given any public statement saying, hey, Brian, turn yourself in.
Or help me find my son, or like
They're outside
Nothing.
gardening.
Nothing.
They're out
Just
gardening.
That they are, Karen. They actually, yeah, you got
Do
me
you
there.
think, have you heard about September 14th where Brian allegedly bought a burner phone at the AT&T? Do you think his mom was with him? You think your mother? Because they
That's
said
what the news says. I don't know what.
Brian didn't like a cell phone to begin with.
he didn't like cell phones. Is he like an outdoorsman? What is he like? What's his hobbies? Like, does he like do camping, like at outdoors? And do you think he could survive out in the woods for a
I
month?
think anybody could survive out in the woods for a month if you grab a book and go out there and try.
I don't know if I asked before, but do you think he's alive?
I hope so.
No.
You hope so.
Yeah.
See,
I hope so.
I
too.
think people want him
Did
held
she say
accountable,
no?
but no harm done.
No, of course.
We don't want harm done to.
No.
You hope for a
I
month.
think anybody could survive out in the woods for a month if you grab a book and go out there and try.
I don't know if I asked before, but do you think he's alive?
I hope so.
No.
You hope so.
Yeah.
See,
I hope so.
I
too.
think people want him held accountable, but no harm done to him.
Yeah, of course.
We don't want harm done to him. We just want him held accountable for his actions.
We would like to give his nephews an answer to when they can see their grandparents again, when see their uncle or talk to him or anything. He was their hero, so
I'm sorry for your guys' pain. I'm sorry for you guys' pain. I really am.
that's it.
I'm very sorry. Yeah.
Sorry,
Very
guys.
sorry.
You guys have a good day. God
Thank you
bless you.
very
I hope
much.
everything turns out. Keep praying. This all ends, and then everyone can move on and just move forward from here.
But we need to find your brother so we can start
100%. I don't
start the healing
what we're
process for
doing,
the
but-
And again, we don't condone any violence on your parents.
Nope.
We've been out there, but
We're
we
actually
haven't.
protesting against violence.
We've been out there, but we haven't went on their property. We don't want anyone doing any damage to their house. We don't want anybody to storm their house. We just want answers. We want them to come forward. Hopefully they'll do that.
Tomorrow.
Hopefully,
Every day I wake up
I'll
and
be
check my
honest. I
phone
prayed.
that they
I
found
prayed.
like, every
I've
day.
been praying for the last couple of days, saying, I hope they repent and
This
do
guy,
what's
bro.
right. Just like I prayed for you guys. I prayed
This guy.
that I'd be able to speak to you guys, or you
And I don't know if her name's actually Karen. I mean, she's a Karen though. She's clearly a Karen. Like she's got a whole Karen get up and the behavior and everything. She's got it all, you know, like she's just down the Karen checklist, you know.
You guys would come out and give answers. I prayed for that the last couple of days. I said, you know, and this might happen, and it did. God bless you guys. And you know, it's just hope this gets resolved quickly, because you know, the longer he's out, it's a danger.
I agree, but you know, I agree. I just wanted to make sure you guys understood that this is my kids.
Thank you. And we are leaving. We are leaving, and we're not coming back. I'm not coming back.
Thank you, Cassie. Thank you.
Thank you,
guys
Cassie, for your
doing
time.
understanding. We appreciate
You have a good
doing
day.
the right thing. Yep. Thank you.
I mean, it's fine that he prayed and everything. It's just
Very
that
powerful. The Cassie, Laundrie, Sister DeBryan,
see what I mean? Like this is all about
James, her husband,
clout
came
for
out
him.
and talked to us. They came out and talked to us, and I listened to them. And us, we've been outside the Laundrie house, the parents, for weeks protesting. We're not coming back here. We're not coming back here unless something develops that she knows, but I will give her the benefit of the doubt for now. God bless. This is patriot activism. You know, their lawyers were telling them, or I don't know, they had advice and said that they weren't supposed to come out and talk to anybody, but they did. They came out and talked, and we kind of got more clarification of what was going on. So we're out here. God bless.
Hell off my screen, dude. Anyway. All right. So yeah, I'm that's where I'm at. I mean, it's Jersey Daisy. Shut up. You get no love here on the glare. Okay? You get no love. You understand? Bunch of, I mean, listen, I'm all for people camping out in front of the Laundrie's parents' house, right? Like that's to me, that's great. You know, they want to exercise the Fifth Amendment right. People can exercise the First Amendment right. Sure, that's great because they're shutting down. They know something, and they're not cooperating with law enforcement. These people are cooperating with law enforcement, man. You know what I'm saying? Now they might be lying, but they're at least cooperating. They're at least talking. They're giving them something to work with. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to be camped out in front of their house. You know, like they got kids in there, man. What do the kids do? What do the kids have anything to do with any of this? You know, the dirty laundries, they're just a couple old crusty liars, just being gross and crusty. You know, ew. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that at all. But the sister, I mean, can you blame her for being like, I haven't seen my brother? Telling the public that. Can you blame her for being like, I have not seen my brother? Basically, like, leave me alone. I've got kids at home. I do not want this circus in front of my house the way it is in front of my parents' house. I don't want this circus in front of my house. So I'm going to be like, listen, man, I ain't seen the dude. Leave me alone. You know what I mean? She's not breaking the law by lying to the press. She's not breaking the law by lying to you. Who are you? Well, she doesn't owe Gabby's family anything. You know, what she owes Gabby's family is cooperation with law enforcement, which she's given. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's it. You know, that's it. Let these kids go to school and do their thing, man. You know, as far as the Laundries go, man, they need to cooperate with law enforcement. They need to come clean and get more information that's going to help apprehend their son safely so that justice can begin to be served for Gabby. No. That has nothing to do with her being a decent person. I disagree, Kelly Clevenger. I disagree. just because she's not cooperating with the public does not make her a bad person, because your life is your business, man. You know what I'm saying? Kelly Clevenger, your life is absolutely 100% your business. It's nobody else's business. You have every right in the world to be as private as you want to be in the public eye. You have every right to protect your privacy. Now, when it comes to a murder investigation, no, you need to cooperate with law enforcement. So if she's meeting those requirements, then I don't see the problem. I don't see the problem at all. Well, yeah, but she is. That's my point. She is cooperating with law enforcement. She said many times during that interview that she's already spoken to the FBI many times. They've been in her home and spoken to her. Now, did they search the home? No. But there probably wasn't enough cause to. You get a search warrant when something seems suspicious, right? You get a search warrant when you have enough probable cause that you can take to a judge and go, hey, I need you to sign off on this warrant because this is the reason why we have to search their house. This is the reason why their rights are not valid in this case, because they committed a crime. We have all this evidence to lead us to believe that a crime has been committed. So that did not take place with Cassandra and her family. So that's probably why they didn't execute a search warrant. Okay, Kelly Cleanger, we're not even arguing. Like I'm agreeing with you. I'm just letting you know that I already went over that and spoke on that. Yeah, exactly. She said that to the public. We don't know what she said to law enforcement. What she said to law enforcement is between her and law enforcement in order to maintain the integrity of an ongoing investigation. That's why we don't know what she told the FBI. That's why she wouldn't say what she told the FBI. And also because the FBI advised her to not say anything to us. Because the truth is, it's none of our business. What's our business is that justice is served, right? That is our business. How it gets served necessarily, or what the process that the professionals that are trained and charged with the duties of getting justice, what their methods are, as long as they're within boundaries of the law and not violating a citizen's rights, well, that's none of our business. Because we don't need, if we want justice, then what they need is for Brian to not know everything that they know. And if we know it, I guarantee you Brian knows it. So that's the impression I got too, Ashface. That's absolutely the impression that I got as well. I have no reason to think otherwise. And yes, Gabby's parents are absolutely a class act. B Muse, how am I? Okay. We are also invested and affected, but you are here for us almost every day. Thank you for that. But also want to make sure you're okay. Yeah, I'm good. I'm all right. You know, um, I'm gonna be honest. I've been uh, relieved. There, you know, the other case that I decided to leave behind. My life has been significantly less stressful since I decided to do that, and so and yeah, uh, and honestly, this little weight loss competition thing that I got going on with Mexi and with Josh from That Challenge podcast, it's doing great things for me. You know, it's no secret that one of the reasons why I started this channel was because of my past issues with depression and anxiety, which I've learned through this process of having this channel for the last 3 years. I've learned to manage it very, very well, and it's all due to these little bullet points that I focus on, that I've chosen to focus on. And I find that when I apply these same bullet points to exercise, it seems to be, it's always, no matter what I'm working on or no matter what I'm trying to do, if I apply these things to that, it seems to always lead towards some level of self-improvement. And so, yeah, I'm pushing myself harder and harder with my diet and with my workout routines, and it's really, really, really pleasant. So, and they say that that the most effective treatment to date known for treating depression and anxiety is physical exercise. And I'm, because I'm in a competition with 2 other YouTube creators, I'm pushing myself a lot harder. And like the cardio I'm doing is just, it's ridiculous. And I'm exhausted at the end of the day. So it's great. Let's see, distraction, good. And also realizing we can't control, which is so hard to do. Happy to hear it. Yeah, that's where acceptance comes in the glare. Acceptance is a big part of that. Just understanding that there's just some things that you just don't have any control over. The trick is how you manage it and how you deal with it. You know, like, let's apply acceptance to this Gabby Petito situation. We're all heated up about it. We're all fired up. You know, all of us are. All of us want answers. All of us are upset at the fact that Brian Laundrie is being, you know, is just being the biggest pain in the butt to law enforcement and to the public, right? But the thing is there's not really anything that we can really do about it. We can talk about it, we can discuss it, you know, but the thing is the bottom line is we're not going to really change anything. We can do our part. Like me, I have a platform. So the best thing that I can do is talk about it and put his name out there and make sure that anybody who sees this has an idea of what to look for and why they're looking for him. You know what I mean? So that's the most that I can do. But acceptance also means that is all you can do. Plus, law enforcement are trained to do this. This guy is the most wanted guy in the country. You got John Walsh. Like, John Walsh has, if you guys, you know, in the real crime community, you guys watched. Sorry about that. At some point on the bottom of the screen, no matter what show is showing on ID channel, there's Brian Laundrie's information. You know, John Walsh has a show on ID channel now, and he's somehow or another paying for spots on every show to where he's advertising for his channel. But you know, and it could just say, "Hey, tune in this day for John Walsh's new show, whatever it's called." But instead, what it says is it shows his channel, and it shows his show. It shows his show and the information on it, but it's dedicated to giving Brian Laundrie's information. That's how dedicated John Walsh is to this. So this is a big deal. You know what I mean? And how we handle it is important. And what's most important is that we don't drive ourselves crazy. We don't let what happened with the Watts case happen here. People got fanatical over the Watts case, so fanatical that to this day, there's this bottom feeding, just cesspool end of YouTube called Watts Island, where people obsessively talk about this case. It is as if it's not closed, as if there's more information, as if the CBI and the local law enforcement agencies that handled the case didn't deal with everything and get a conviction they didn't even have to get a conviction. They got him to plead guilty. We all knew he was guilty. He's guilty. He's never seeing the light of day again. Justice has been served. That is it. So we have to be careful that we don't let the hype of this, the hype and the pizzazz of this case get the best of us and cause us to behave in this irrational fashion towards each other. That's why I don't mess with Facebook groups no more, man. Can you imagine what the Facebook groups are like for this case, man? Nope. I'm not doing that. Well, that's the thing is there's some people that are doing it for clout, like dude that we just saw, like Molly Go Lightly, you know, that was just for content. But when you're exercising your First Amendment right, I'm not going to trash anybody for that. You know, like, why should these people, knowing what they know, why should they get to be living peacefully? You know what I'm saying? Why do they get to just garden and go like life is all good, you know, without, you know, why is it wrong for the public to do what they can within the boundaries of the law to put pressure on them? You know, I don't think it's harassment. It's simple. It's just plain protesting. They are exercising their First Amendment right to protest, to assemble and protest. Free speech. There's nothing wrong with that. And I totally support them for doing it. If their reason is, well, they should speak up. They should speak up. Because there's a guy out there that knows exactly what happened to Gabby, whether he's guilty of the crime or not. He knows exactly what happened to Gabby. He has key information that would lead to justice being served for her. And he's in the wind. And his parents are helping him. And yeah, and it's not wrong for the people to want justice. What's wrong with people feeling like, you know what, I get it. I get it. Some people are like, well, you don't even know Gabby, so why are you so invested? Well, you know, I think it's perfectly okay. I think it's perfectly okay to feel to a healthy level invested. You know, I don't like that this goes on. You know, some people are affected by DV. And there's no closure, you know, and they're seeing somebody basically get away with exactly why DV can be a grave danger and not just a physical danger, a grave danger. There are people that are seriously affected by this, personally affected. So why should they not be able to exercise their right to protest? I mean, I don't have a personal problem with her, but I'd be remiss if I didn't point out what I saw, how I saw it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't wish any ill will on her or nothing like that. I'm not trying to get her canceled or nothing. I mean, like, she has her diehard followers, and that's great. I don't have a problem with that. I wish her the best. I wish her channel the best. I wish her family the best. Yeah, all that. I really honestly do. But let's call a spade here. The fact is she saw that this case, because she did the same thing with the Watts case, man. Don't tell me she didn't. Don't tell me she didn't insert herself in that. She absolutely did. So she sees this getting national media attention, the first true crime case in all of the time that I've ever been on YouTube, getting this much attention. And then, of course, it's an investment for her. Dude, you realize, this is what I'm saying, is y'all are like looking at it like, oh my God, she's just so passionate and that's why she did it. No, man. No. She is a content creator. She makes a lot of money with her channel. And taking a flight to Florida to cause that scene and get it on camera was an investment for her, because that flight, since she is a content creator, gets to get written off of her taxes. It's free because it's a business expense. It's genius. Nobody thinks about that stuff. It's just so funny to me. Like, that's all that was. And that's okay. I mean, I'm not criticizing her for that, but I'm saying, like, look, maybe I am criticizing her, but to me, I just, yeah, come on, when you do something like that, you're not fooling people who actually have enough brain capacity to see what your motive for doing it is. You know what I mean? Like, that's not, no. What you do is, even if you want to get clout and do it the real way, donate a bunch of money to the to the Gabby Petito Foundation. If you got the money, right? If you got the money to take a trip and cause a scene like that, well, why don't you just take that money and donate it to the Gabby Petito Foundation? You're going to get more done that way. I promise you're getting more done. But you're going to, like, dirty laundries, look at them. Come on, dude. It's crazy. That's just irrational behavior. I had a girl reach out to me on Facebook after mentioning I am a DV advocate. I spoke to this total stranger to help. That is what Gabby is now doing to help. Yeah, absolutely. And there's the Gabby Petito Foundation right there. If you guys want to donate, do something. I'm not saying she didn't. Donate money. I'm saying, but that's what gets people to fucking, like, understand. That's what gets people to, like, to get inspired. That's the sort of thing that helps make a difference. Not going down there and taking a laundry basket with a thing and acting like, I mean, come on, man. And and I'm not saying she wasn't sober, but I remember my vodka days. It looked a little familiar. I'm not gonna lie. But that's just me. That's just my personal observation. We want her here, but she is leaving a legacy. Yeah. Okay, we're talking about the other YouTube creator who flew down to Florida and made a scene. Oh yeah. I mean, I went over it here, dude. I did because I just had to, man. It was just too funny. Like I didn't see anything. There was nothing about that made me go, "Oh my God, look at the passion." There was nothing about that made me do that at all. I just laughed. Like thinking about it now, I still laugh. I've gone over it twice. I'm tempted to do it a third time, but I'm not going to do that. I said I wasn't saying she wasn't sober. That's what I said. I said I'm not saying she wasn't sober. Maybe she was. I don't know. But that wasn't rational behavior. Like I'd rather people go, man, one too many, than think that that's just something that I do. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather people think I was drunk rather than like people think, oh, that's just something that he does. You know, just throw it, like take a flight from Pennsylvania to Florida just to leave a laundry basket with bleach. You know, just just doesn't make sense to me. That's all I'm saying. You know. Yeah, I did know that. And that's cool too, man. You know, I used to watch that show. That was one of the only reality shows I used to watch all the time. I don't remember her being on there. Like I already long stopped watching it by the time I found out that she was on there once. But I mean, you know, I like the concept. That show is so funny. That show is so funny. Like one of the people are always like super overbearing, right? One of the people is always super overbearing, and you know, you got one real easygoing family, and then you got another family who's like totally just total Karens, like a family of Karens, and it's just it just makes me laugh to see them. Like how can you live like this? Look at this. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to completely and totally take over raising your children. What you're doing is wrong in how you raise your children. So I'm going to raise your children for you for the next 3 weeks. It's ridiculous, man. Like, why didn't anybody have enough sense to just be like, listen, I'm only going to be here for like 2-3 weeks. So, you know, like, listen, just don't give me a hard time. I'm not going to give you a hard time. Just listen, let's just look at it like a vacation. You know what I mean? Like your significant others over at my house, they should just be chilling. My significant other will handle everything. I'm just going to be here to chill. Okay. That's what I'm going to do. You do your thing. If you need my help, you need me to do some dishes or something, let me know. I'm happy to help. That's cool. But I'm not going to insert myself in the family, you know, the way their dynamic is. That's crazy to me. Like, I'm always just like, who is you to do that? What do you think? Who do you think you are? Anyways, guys, I think I'm going to end it here. I love you guys. Thank you all for all your support, and we will do this again very soon.